whether I free it, take it, I think I could do anything I want with it. You want to know the truth? They're a very weakened nation.
Whether Washington calls it freedom, pressure, or national security, the pattern around Cuba is becoming hard to ignore. A new analysis of publicly available aviation data shows that since February 4th, the United States has sharply increased intelligence-gathering flights near Cuba's coastline. At least 25 surveillance missions were reportedly carried out by the United States Navy and Air Force, and several came within roughly 40 miles of Cuban territory. These were not ordinary patrols. The aircraft reportedly included the P-8A Poseidon, used for maritime reconnaissance, the RC-135V rivet joint, designed to intercept communications and electronic signals, and the MQ-4C Triton drone, capable of long-duration surveillance. In plain language, these are aircraft built to listen, watch, map, and measure military and communications activity from the sky. But the most important detail is the timing. Before February, publicly visible surveillance flights of this type near Cuba were reportedly rare. Then suddenly they surged. Around the same period, Trump escalated his rhetoric, reposted comments about visiting a free Havana, imposed new pressure on Cuba, expanded sanctions, and framed the island as a threat to United States national security. Before we go further, like this video, subscribe to Progressive Wave, and share it with someone who still thinks foreign policy happens by accident. Stories like this disappear unless people force them into the public conversation. The algorithm does not naturally reward anti-war analysis, so help push this now. What makes this even more serious is the pattern. Similar increases in visible surveillance flights were reportedly seen before United States operations connected to Venezuela and Iran. The same types of aircraft now appearing near Cuba were used in earlier theaters before military action followed. That does not prove an attack is coming, but it does raise the obvious question: is Washington only gathering intelligence, or is it sending Havana a warning? These aircraft can hide from public flight trackers by switching off their transponders, but they reportedly remained visible. That matters. If Washington wanted these flights hidden, they could be hidden. So visibility may be part of the message. We are watching, we are close, and we want you to know it. Cuban officials are calling this multi-dimensional aggression, economic warfare, blockade pressure, sanctions, and now military signaling. President Miguel Diaz-Canel accused Trump of escalating hostility to a dangerous level. Foreign Minister Bruno Rodriguez called Trump's remarks a direct threat of military aggression and said Cuba would not surrender under pressure. And then Trump took it even further. He joked about American forces possibly taking control of Cuba after operations involving Iran are complete. He even referenced the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier, suggesting it could stop near Cuba on its way back from the Middle East. That image is not subtle. An aircraft carrier offshore, surveillance planes overhead, sanctions tightening, and Washington calling it security. Comment below. Do you think this is routine surveillance, psychological pressure, or preparation for something bigger? Your answer matters, because public debate before escalation is exactly what power prefers to avoid. The economic pressure is already hurting ordinary Cubans. The Trump administration has announced fresh sanctions targeting Cuba's security, defense, finance, and energy sectors. Washington says it is targeting corruption and human rights abuses. Havana says it is collective punishment. And when energy systems are squeezed, homes go dark. When fuel is blocked, hospitals strain. When financial systems are cut off, ordinary people pay the price. This is the familiar script. A country refuses to submit, and Washington calls it a threat. Sanctions are imposed, and Washington calls it diplomacy. Surveillance planes appear, and officials tell the public not to overreact. But history says we should pay attention when rhetoric, economic strangulation, and military signals all move at the same time. So the question is no longer whether tensions are rising. They are. The real question is how far this confrontation could go, and whether the public will notice before another crisis is manufactured in plain sight. Wars do not always begin with bombs. Sometimes they begin with sanctions, speeches, surveillance flights, and a public trained to look away. Subscribe to Progressive Wave, turn on notifications, and stay with this story. Because the most dangerous moment is not always when the first missile is fired. Sometimes it is earlier, when the signals are already visible, the pressure is already building, and the public is still being told there is nothing to see.